What's going on, everybody? We are back with Daima episode 15, and if you've been waiting for the action to happen, if you've been dying for the action to take off, if you've been like, I want the action, I'm dying for the action, please, Dragonball Daima, bring me the action, I missed the action. This episode didn't disappoint. From the jump to the very end, there was action all throughout this episode with a little bit of tidbit of lore right in the middle. So let's get into it. And like always in every one of my reviews, there will be spoilers in this episode review. There will be me talking about stuff. The biggest thing though is the stuff in the middle about what they revealed regarding Demon King Abora, Demon King Dabura, and then of course eventually a little bit about Gomah in the end. That's the most important part about this story in terms of spoilers. There's no way I can spoil the fight because hey, we're all Dragon Ball fans, right? Most of us, well, at least I do, rewatch the series every year. Well, I rewatch it I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I rewatch it every year and I still get hyped by the fights. So I know you guys get hyped by the fights. I don't even care about the fights. But hey, let's talk about the stuff. But the first thing I want to talk about, let's get into the stuff in the very middle that talked about the third eye. And yes, in this episode, the third eye has been revealed. The big MacGuffin that Gomah has been searching for since the very beginning of the series. The third eye has been revealed. And much like I said it, I'm pretty sure in one of my episodes, don't know how far back, but one of them did. And if I didn't say it in an episode, I definitely said it to my friends because they've confirmed it in our conversations. Hibis has been carrying the third eye the whole time. That's right. My favorite character of the series so far, Hibis, has been rocking the third eye the entire series. And this third eye is something truly incredible because the way Gomah had been hyping it up really needed to show something like, hey, this is something that we really need for me to really take over. And they finally show what makes it so special because basically every Supreme Demon King has had this eye to basically assert their authority, assert their power, assert their dominance over the realm. And while the Demon King typically is considered the strongest demon in all the realms, whether it be like Dabura's case, where Dabura was just basically de facto the strongest period across the board, because they said that back in Z. And Gomah, while not like a physically strong character, they always praised him on his magic. So again, like I said, even though Gomah has been to me this cowardly weak character in terms of the demons in the demon realm, Gomah's magic was like unparalleled. So him getting the third eye would have been like disastrous. But this third eye basically asserted the dominance and asserted the authority of all the Supreme Demon Kings. They've all had it, but it was lost during the era of Abora's reign. We come to find out why. And that is because his son Dabura had it stolen. Dabura set up a situation with someone that he hired, mercenary, to go in while his father was out of the castle, steal the third eye. And he was going to meet up with him. He's like, go to the third demon world. I'll meet up with you. That's where we'll hide the third eye and we'll be good. Fortunately, that didn't pan out. The mercenary made it to the third demon world, but of course he got iced by one of those giants, not the giants, one of those ogre-like things in the third demon realm. Eye was lost. It disappeared. Dabura was like, well, something happened. Oh, well, the evil eye is gone. And because the evil eye was gone, he was able to usurp his father and become the Supreme Demon King. Now, we already knew that Dabura was a ruthless man prior to this series. But knowing that he usurped his father by stealing the eye, and then basically, we don't know for sure, but he probably iced his own father too, because that's just how it is. We went real Game of Thrones there for a second. Of course, we didn't see it, but he probably did. So he took out his own father and asserted himself as the Supreme Demon King, and he did so by removing the eye from his father's possession, because apparently, even though, again, like I said a little bit ago, even though Dabura was considered probably the strongest demon, because his father had the eye, he could never truly usurp his father, because the power that he got from the eye really helped, tip the scales in his favor. But once the eye was gone, he took out his father. He became the Supreme Demon King. And Gomah, I've been wondering this the whole time, how Gomah was in the position to take over after Abora. And it's because basically he was the vice Demon King successor. So basically he was the second in command for Dabura, and basically the successor when Dabura eventually would pass away. Now, did Dabura think he was going to die in a long time? No, but Dabura got eaten by Boo. So that's when he got taken. That's when Gomah took over. So it makes sense how Gomah took over. It makes sense how Dabur. Now we know that how Dabur became into power. We know how the third eye was lost, and we know that the third eye is really something truly special because it really amps the Supreme Demon King and whoever wields it. And my boy Hibis has just been rocking it the whole time like a little belt, and it even shows him fighting it. And he's like, "Ooh, what is this? Oh well," and hooks it up to his belt. Which, while they're all down on the castle, because again, Goku and them make it to Gomah's castle. That's where the Dragon Ball is. Because again, they think they're still needing the Dragon Ball. They don't know. They don't know that Anrisu has stolen the Dragon Ball. So they think they still got to get there, and they've been finding their way around. While they were down there, Hibis gets confronted by this demon girl, and she's like, "Oh my God, I love your belt. If you give it to me, I'll give you a kiss." And Hibis being the man that he is, was like, "Nah, I don't want that. I don't want your lips on me. Get away from me." And she's like, "Oh no. What am I supposed to do?" And he's like, "But I'll trade it to you for that hat. I love the hat." And she was wearing this stupid jelly poo looking green hat. That's what Hibis wanted. That's what he traded the eye for. Now again, Hibis didn't know that this was the third eye. But if they reveal in the next episode or two that Hibis knew it was the third eye the whole time, and Hibis was just like, I didn't care. Whatever. Don't face me. I would love it. Because again, Hibis has been my favorite character in this series because it's just how he is as a character and how he's willing to just constantly pick fights with Vegeta straight up. I'm sure some of you maybe have made the reference. For those that like the Abridged series, what the Abridged series did for Tien and how he messed with Vegeta, straight up Hibis does this, but it's way more funny in my opinion because Hibis is doing it without even purposely trying to do it. Like, he's not going out of his way to screw with Vegeta, but he's doing it enough to actually screw with him constantly. And that's what made him my favorite character, and his nonchalant attitude. But anyway, he trades the belt, so this demon girl's got it. Now, I don't know if the demon girl was Degasu, right? Because before we see that scene, Gomah tells Degasu to go get the eye. And, Degasu was like, "Are you sure that's the eye?" And he goes, "I'm positive that's the eye. Go get the eye, but make sure no one knows what you're there, that you're there, what you're doing, what you're trying to grab. Don't do any of that." And Degasu was like, how am I supposed to do that? And he's like, "You'll think of something. Don't worry about it. Think about it." So Gomah tells him to go get the eye. Then this little random demon girl out of nowhere shows up to take the eye from Hibis. And there's a part at the end where she has the belt in her hand and she's like, this is humiliating because now I feel bad. Like, this feels so awful that I got it this way. What the fuck? So now the question is, did Gomah, or not Gomah, does Degasu have the ability to actually shapeshift into like whoever he wants? Because if he does, that's a crazy ability we've never seen from the Kais. I don't know. Again, I'm not saying that's Degasu. I think Degasu might have just hired someone to take the eye or take the belt from Hibis. But if that is Degasu and he's able to actually transform like that, that would be crazy, because that'll be an ability that we haven't seen from the Kais ever. So will it be revealed next episode that Degasu can shapeshift like that? Maybe. Will it? We find out that it maybe was just a person he hired. Maybe. I don't know. But again, if that was Degasu and he shapeshifted to try to like flirt with Hibis, that's a really interesting ability that he has. Now again, magic can do crazy things, and we know magic exists, but we've never seen a Kai shapeshift, so it'd be kind of cool if Degasu could do it. I don't know, but for all we know now, Hibis no longer has the third eye. This random demon girl has the third eye. Based on the previews for the episode, probably has something to do with Degasu in some way. Anrisu's like, "Yo, things are going according to plan." We see her for a brief moment. She's happy that things are going down. The battle started. You got Ku and Du sleeping. Sleepy boys. I hope Du and Ku survive this series just to spend out their days in the demon realm, eating chocolate and kicking and sleeping. Like, them boys just deserve it. They're just good little boys. They're just good boys. They just want to eat some chocolate and have some fun. They're not even evil. So I hope they survive the series. But the action, man, you guys will love this, because this, when people would try to tell you guys that when Dragon Ball is given time to truly, I don't want to use the term, but I guess I'm going to have to, cook, you know, like when Dragon Ball is given time to really have a production like this. In fact, any anime benefits from this, but Dragon Ball really benefits from this. Like, hey, we had tons of time to work on this. We didn't have to rush it. We didn't have to play anything around it. It was so beautiful to watch this fight play out because it looked fantastic from start to finish. There was basically constant action, except for that part that was talking about the eye. And it's good information about the eye, but constant action. We got to see Goku go Super Saiyan. We got to see Vegeta brag, and it's like, I can take all these dudes, and they're getting attacked by the armor, right? And they get blasted. Like, now, before anyone tries to do some weird power scaling bullshit, just know that Vegeta, Goku, and even Piccolo have pretty much acknowledged that it is weird fighting as a small child again. They've all admitted to this. Like, yes, Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo all in their life have fought as a small child, especially Goku, and he's done crazy things as a kid. But where he's at in his life and having to readjust back to being a kid, he's like, it's just weird having to still kind of get used to this. He's still working with it. Vegeta's still working with it. But they pointed out, like, hey, if you get hit with these things, like, they're not necessarily going to really hurt you, but they have an incapacitation ability and it shocks the hell out of them. Now, again, for people in the demon world, this is pretty much like, it makes them fully done. It just kind of knocks Goku and Vegeta out for like a brief moment in time. We see it hit Goku and Vegeta once a piece, and then they get hit with this massive tank bomb that takes him, Vegeta, and Piccolo out. But again, they're not out for a long time. They're not even knocked out. They're just like briefly like stunned, like, and then they get up and they get over it. So it slows them down because of the shock. And we know that Goku and Vegeta and Piccolo and all these guys, they're not immune to being shocked. Like, they still feel it if they get shocked. They're still like, oh god, that hurts. And we saw it last week's episode, you know, when they released the barriers between the realms and Goku got shocked for hitting the shield, right? So they feel it, especially now in the small body. If they were big, would these bombs and these weapons affect them as much? I don't think so. I think it would probably give them a slight little jolt, but like, it's not going to knock them down compared to now when they're kids. But the fighting was incredible for this episode. It's all action. If you've been waiting for action, here you go. I know I saw somewhere on Twitter that it was like Akio Yoku was telling us that you guys are really going to look forward to the next 6 episodes because everything you could want from the Dragon Ball series is going to be here. Now, again, I love the lore. So I've loved everything about this series in terms of the lore. Have there been bad episodes in terms of quality, in terms of enjoyment, in terms of pacing? I don't think so. But has there been a couple of bad episodes in terms of pacing for the overall series, as in moving the story? Yes. Has there been episodes in the point that they serve no purpose for being in the series? Yes. The episode with the Giants served no purpose in being in the series. Did I still have a good time watching it? Yes. Did I still enjoy myself? Yes. But was it necessary? No. That's an episode that could have got cut out. They could have cut out a lot of runtime in the earlier episodes of them just kind of running around. Yes, there are some small issues with this show, but the issues are just the point of like, why is this here? Wasting time. But it's not because of bad animation. It's not because of bad pacing overall to get through each episode. Each episode is well paced. The action, when it's there, is there. It has been a truly entertaining series so far. And again, if you have been waiting for the action, this episode from here, like I said last week, my review, like Akio Yoku said in his interview the other day, these next episodes, 15 through 20, 21, something like that, they are going to be off the wall, guns blazing, ground running. We're going to see tons of action. We're going to see some Kundu fighting again. We're going to see some Super Saiyan transformations. Goku transformed in this episode. It's going to be a super fun ride for the next 6 episodes, including this one. But I want to hear you guys' predictions right here, right now. Drop in the comments below. What predictions do you have moving forward? Are we going to see Vegito? Are we going to see Gogeta? Obviously, little mini versions, right? Are we going to see them have a big climactic fight of them back to being adults again? Like, are we going to see them fight Gomah and all them as adults again? Or is it also going to be resolved as kids and then grow up? Or, I've been talking with my friends, I think, personally, because they've hinted at the fuse bug, the join bug, being a bug that can fuse 3 beings. I think we may get a Shin Goku Vegeta fusion. I would love to see that just for the sake of doing it. Will we get it? Probably not. But do I kind of want to see it? Absolutely. I want to see a Supreme Kai Vegito fusion. Like, I want to see that, so please let it happen. But what do you guys think is going to happen? Do you think there's going to be stuff like that? Who do you think the big bad in the end is going to be? Do you still think the big bad is Gomah overall? Do you think it's going to be Onrisu? Do you think we're going to get this combination of Ku and Du and they're going to be the big bad? Is it going to be Glorio? I have a friend who says it's going to be Glorio. And while I know some of you are going to be like, what the? Glorio? I want to point out one thing about this theory. Dragon Ball has been always very evident on who their villain is in every single arc. From the jump, Dragon Ball has never really hid who the big bad is of every arc. If Glorio ends up being the big bad in the end, like he turns against Goku, he turns against Onrisu, because we know he's working with Onrisu, but imagine if he turns against Goku and turns against Onrisu and decides he's going to do things on his own. Glorio becoming the big bad, still in the eye, becoming the big bad, would be a twist that Dragon Ball has not ever done, because everything about Glorio up to this moment has just told us he's a decently good person. He's just siding with Onrisu, and he may turn against her. Likely is he's going to turn against her. But now imagine he turns against her, Goku. He turns against Goku, turns against her, and then he's like, I'm going to take the wish myself. I'm going to use the third eye. I'm going to become the new Demon King. Imagine if Glorio is the true big boss in the end, and say he combines with Ku and Du after they combine, blah, 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 and all that stuff. Right? Imagine that. Is it a wild theory? Yes. Have I told my friend it's a wild theory? Yes. But for the sake of it being a character that that has not been pushed to be the bad guy, I kind of want it to happen for the sake of the point that Dragon Ball has never hidden the bad guy. It's always been like, this is the bad guy. Every arc, they're like, this is the bad guy every time. And I love Dragon Ball. Nonetheless, I don't need the big reveal of who the big baddie is every time. I don't need this secret mini boss who's behind the boss, who's behind this boss. I don't need that. You can tell me the villain from the jump. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me at all. But imagine for Dragon Ball, we get the twist of Glorio is actually the true baddie in the end. I mean, do you guys think the theory is? Again, I talked with my friend about it. I think it's a wild theory, but hey, I kind of want to see it. I want to see Dragon Ball do something so out of left field. We're like, wow, they actually went into left field with this idea. This is crazy. What in the hell? I want to see it. I want to see the wacky stuff that they can do in Dragon Ball. I want them to be able to say, we can do these things because we're in the demon realm, right? And because they're locked in the demon realm right now, I want them to be able to do things that are only available in the demon realm, which will explain why we never see it later on in the series, because it only is available for them to do in the demon realm. For those that want Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan 4 can only exist if it only works in the demon realm. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense for that series. Give me a fusion that only works in the demon realm. Give me a character that only can be existing in the demon realm. Give me the random out of left field Glorio big bad in the end. Give me all of this, and I want to hear you guys. I want to hear every one of you guys' thoughts in the comment below. Please let me know what you guys' theories are moving forward. What do you think is going to happen? What do you hope is going to happen? What do you predict is going to happen? Everything in between. But that's going to be my review of Dragon Ball Daima episode 15. And until next time, everybody, see ya.